And I see y'all gonna switch seat on us to keep us on our toes, but that's okay. All right, everyone, please be seated. So, ladies and gentlemen, with regards to the state and the defense, I've given them permission to move about the courtroom without asking permission from the court. So it's not a sign of disrespect on their part. I've just given them leave to approach the witnesses whenever they need to. You are still under oath, and if you'll just restate your name for the record, please.
Monette Ellis.
All right, you may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Before we broke, Monette, I had asked you about the officer that was staying with you while the investigation was going on before taking you downtown to give a statement. Do you remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. May I approach the witness?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I know you just gave the
Yeah.
explanation. Let's have it. Monette, I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 15. Are there any markings on State's Exhibit 15 that you recognize?
Yes.
What are those?
My signature with the date.
And did you watch State's Exhibit 15?
Yes.
And is the contents or are the contents of State's Exhibit 15 a fair and accurate depiction of the portion that we're going to play of your interaction with that officer?
Yes.
Your Honor, we'd like to offer into evidence State's Exhibit 15.
And defense, your previous objections are noted.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, State's Exhibit number 15 is admitted.
May I publish, Your Honor?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward to the part that we want to talk about, which is going to be, for the record, at 19 minutes and, or I'm sorry, 1900 hours and 22 minutes.
I'm sorry, could you pause that for a moment? Can I have parties approach? All right, you may continue.
So as I was saying, for the record, we're going to start the video at about 1922 minutes and 37 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to pause it. Who are we seeing on the screen right now, Mona?
It's me and a good friend of mine, Candace.
Candace, okay. And where are you in this video?
We're inside Miss Carol's house.
The house that you pointed out to us on the map earlier? Yeah. Okay. And the officer whose body cam we're watching, is that the officer that stayed with you during this time?
Yes, ma'am.
And this part of your interaction with that officer, what are y'all conversing about?
He came in and introduced himself. He asked if I was okay. He said that he needed to be there in the house with us to stay with us and stay with the children. And I had asked him, if Jesse was okay, if he was hurt. He said he was fine. And I asked him if anybody was hurt at all, and he said that 2 officers were shot.
So what we're about to see, is this your reaction to being told that Jesse had shot 2 officers?
Yes.
Was it a shock to you to hear that?
Yes.
Was it painful?
Very. I was hoping nobody got hurt. at all.
Your car, was it parked in front of Carol's house?
Yes, ma'am.
Was your car struck by gunfire?
Yes, ma'am.
Was Carol's car struck by gunfire?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you realize that night or at the time that your car had been hit?
No, ma'am. I didn't recognize it until about a week or two after. I was walking towards my car. I was leaving work, and I just happened to look down, walking towards my car, and that's when I noticed it.
Where was so your younger daughters were with you in Carol's house, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you already told us about how they reacted to to hearing the gunfire. Were they worried about their dad?
Yes, very much so.
And your oldest daughter, Madison, do you know where she was?
At the time, Madison was on her way to a Chris Stapleton concert with a friend of hers.
Did she make it to the concert?
No, ma'am, she did not.
Did she make it to the scene?
After the fact, yes.
Do you know if what kind of state she was in when she got there?
I don't know specifically, but I do know that she was worried about everything.
And after this all happened, we all know that Jesse went to jail. Did you, or were there any orders put in place that prevented him from having contact with your girls?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you ask to have those lifted?
I did.
Did you do that on your own, or was there what happened there?
There was a telephone call between Jesse's sister and myself, and I finally decided that it was time for the girls to talk to their dad.
So even after this, you didn't try to keep him from the girls?
Not at all.
How have your girls, I guess let me go back. Right after it happened, how did your girls deal with it?
They cried themselves to sleep. They just wanted to know where their daddy was, why their daddy wasn't home. And all I can do was hold them as they cried themselves to sleep and tell them that everything will be okay. They knew that he was in jail, but they didn't know exactly how much trouble that he was in.
And when you say they, are you talking about the two younger ones?
Yes, ma'am.
Did Madison know?
Yes.
And how did it affect her?
It hurt her a lot. I didn't talk to her for about 2 weeks after this happened because she blamed me for everything. I had no idea where she was staying, who she was staying with. I didn't know if she was okay. I would try and reach out to her. I knew she was hurting. And I couldn't be there for her.
Did you work through that with her?
We finally did. And we all have our moments, but
Do you want me to move on?
yes.
Okay. But you and Madison worked through that eventually.
Yes.
Okay. And do you have a good relationship with her now?
Yes.
Now, that was at the beginning when things were really hard. Have the girls healed since this has happened?
Yes, they have accelerated in school. They've been going to church every Wednesday night. I've been trying to keep them busy. They're doing great. They miss their dad, but they're doing great.
Do you know what Jesse's bond was set at?
Yes.
What?
It was 1 million per case.
And did I ask you to listen to a phone call that Jesse made while he was in jail?
Yes, ma'am.
So you must have been marked as State's Exhibit 16. Do you recognize any markings on State's Exhibit 16?
Yes.
And what are those?
It's my initial with the date.
Okay. And is State's Exhibit 16, from what you heard, a recording of a call that Jesse had when he was in jail?
Yes, ma'am.
And because you were married to him or in a relationship with him for over 20 years, are you familiar with his voice?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you also familiar with the voices of the people that are close in his life?
Yes, ma'am.
So were you able, when you listened to this, to recognize the other person that was talking to him on the phone?
Yes, ma'am.
And who was that?
His best friend, JP Carrasco.
And you talked to JP yourself many times?
Anytime.
Okay. Your Honor, that's all I have for this exhibit at this time.
All right.
And, oh, I'm sorry, I meant with regard to this exhibit. I'm not going to offer it at this time. I was just establishing that information. If I could just have one moment. All right, at this time, Your Honor, we'll pass the witness.
All right, defense.
Thank you, Judge. Monette, my name is Ernest Acevedo. I know we've talked on the phone and we've exchanged, I believe, one email
Yes,
about
sir.
your visitation for your daughters or voice visitations.
Yes, sir.
But I guess this is the first time we ever met in person, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. As kind of just a preliminary question, in this kind of case, one of the things we have to establish is that Jesse doesn't have any criminal history for punishment purposes. You've known him since he was at high school age, correct?
Correct.
You have personal knowledge that he has never been arrested prior to this arrest in his
Correct.
entire life?
Never.
All right. He has no felony convictions, misdemeanor convictions, nothing on his
Nothing.
record whatsoever?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, all right, I want to talk a little bit, and I'm going to try to go a little bit in the order of your testimony. Just to kind of understand the history, y'all were both teenagers when y'all started dating, correct?
Yes, sir.
And basically, y'all were a couple when y'all started dating as teenagers, up until the separation that occurred in, I guess, early 2023.
Yes, sir.
It was documented in marriage in 2012. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
But y'all had been together for much longer than that, right?
Correct.
All right. Now, you know, I know it's the prosecution's case, and I know you've been asked to testify pretty much about every bad thing they could ask about Jesse with you. That's pretty much it, right? I mean, what they went over with you is pretty much everything bad you can say about Jesse. Do you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
And I am calling him Jesse because he's been known as Jesse his whole life, right?
Yes, sir.
His legal name is Jesus Torado, but he goes by Jesse his whole
Always
life.
gone. Mhm.
All right. Now I want to go back to, you know, the time when y'all started dating and through your marriage. How would you describe Jesse prior to the marital problems in your relationship?
Hardworking, fun-loving, very friendly. Walk down the aisle at a supermarket and he'd make a friend just talking to somebody in the aisle of the supermarket. Anywhere we went, made a friend. He'll give you the shirt off his back. He'll help anybody in need. Pull over the side of the road. If you see somebody with their hazards on, he'll pull over and stop and help them.
Now, as far as some of the jobs that he's had, he always has been a blue collar guy, right?
Yes, sir.
He didn't go the furthest in school, but he did get a lot of training and certificates for blue collar jobs. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Um, did he work in the oil fields?
Yes, sir. Several years.
All right. And how did that work out for y'all? I mean, was he good at it?
Very good.
Uh, what are some of the other trainings he's got and jobs he's done during your marriage?
He when we were still living in our hometown, he worked for the volunteer fire department. He went to A&M for a couple of courses that was sponsored through the city to do additional training for the firefighting. He's done towing. He's very good at towing in and out of the oil field for several years. He did locksmith on the side.
Like the locksmith stuff, that's another area where he had to go to school for that,
Yes,
trade
sir.
school. I guess he got a whole bunch of certificates, I guess advancing in locksmith trade.
Yes, sir.
Would he put in long hours for his family?
Yes, sir.
Like I know one of the dynamics, like buying that house was a big deal for the family, right?
Yes, sir. It was a big step for all of us.
Where did y'all live prior to purchasing that house that we've been talking about?
We lived in a trailer park in a trailer house that we purchased, and we actually ended up paying off, and we owned it. We owned the trailer house.
But it was always the family goal that you wanted to get into a neighborhood, a real house, so the girls could be raised, with a yard, a fence, that kind of thing.
Yes, sir.
Is it fair to say Jesse worked extremely hard for that?
Sir. We both did.
Okay. Now I want to make a couple of points real clear as well, because we've heard that, in this dark time, during the couple of days, or I guess the day before and the day of, you're saying Jesse had told you some comments about, well, what would you do if I did this to the girls, put a gun to their head or something to that effect? When you were asked by the police if you ever thought he would do anything to the girls, you told the police officers no that next day, didn't you? Or I guess late that night, didn't
Yeah.
you? Has he ever done anything to the girls?
No.
Ever?
No.
Has he ever been anything but just Princess's daddy, the three girls that he had with you?
That's what he was.
And so the comments you were telling the jury about, if you're being fair to Jesse, admittedly, he was in a very, very tough spot with you, right? I mean, he was having a breakdown with you, not wanting to come back, and with the divorce. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Just like you told the police the day of, you knew he would have never hurt his girls. He did have a problem with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's kind of go back to the first major issue that seemed to change the dynamics of this relationship. Jesse's brother. What was Jesse's brother's formal name?
Noel can do.
Okay, and he had a nickname too. What did everybody call?
Weddle.
Okay. Now, I mean, Weddle died very unexpectedly. Just a very, heartbreaking situation. Is that fair? Can you tell the jury just what actually happened that put everybody in this position with that scenario?
What happened to him?
What happened to Weddle? Yeah.
He was placed in the hospital for a heart condition. He was in there for a while. Ran all sorts of tests, did procedures. They released him. He was able to come home, and then the next day he passed away at home suddenly.
So Wedo, for the, if you need a moment, I can. You need a tissue? There's
I'm
tissue.
fine.
Okay. I'm gonna try to get through this quicker. I just need to establish what happened, but Wedo was the patriarch of the family, right? Is it? Was that Jesse's father figure for the most part?
Yes.
This happened, I believe it happened right before his 50th birthday. Does that sound about right to you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm sorry to be bringing it up like this, but I mean, it's relevant to this case in the sense that, is it fair to say that it had an extreme impact on Jesse?
Yes.
And, I know Melissa asked you a question about mental illness, and I mean, we were never trying to suggest that Jesse had schizophrenia or anything like that, but did he experience depression from the loss of his brother?
Yeah.
All right. And I mean, just as a distinction, I mean, depression can be a pretty severe mental health condition. Like depression can be really, really bad for people. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
And would you agree that you, along with a lot of Jesse's families, saw that? I mean, you saw it, that Jesse was experiencing depression from Wedo's death. That was something that nobody had ever seen him before. Now, do you remember what year it was that y'all got into this house?
It was in 2019.
Okay, and so like, I guess one of the other factors was that you were in this house when Wedo passed, right?
Yes.
And a lot of the family was in Dilley, right?
Yeah.
Now, Wedo was here, wasn't he? Where was Wedo living?
No, he was living in Dilley.
He was in Dilley as well. Okay. Now, y'all being in San Antonio, most of the family was in Dilley, right?
Correct.
And so I know y'all would go to Dilley a lot, like on weekends and things, but when y'all were in San Antonio, your family unit was pretty much by itself and the rest of the family was kind of further away, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I know it's hard to see in some of these body cams, but you have personal knowledge of this. At your house, like on the date all of this happened, in the entryway of the house, there was still a kind of an active shrine to Wedo right inside the doorway. Is that correct?
Yeah.
It was a shrine to him with, I think, some real candles, sometimes some electric candles for safety too. But like inside the doorway on the day this happened, I mean, there was still an active shrine for him. That's, I mean,
I made sure that I always had it out.
okay. Okay, and then I want to talk to you a little bit about the effect that the affair had on Jesse. I mean, obviously, from your testimony this morning, I mean, things would be hot and cold sometimes with you after this period of time. Is it fair to say that Jesse's first reaction when, I mean, everything came to light in early 2023 was anger at first?
Yes.
You certainly don't blame him for being angry about it, do you?
No, not at all.
After being angry about it, though, there was an attempt at forgiveness and reconciliation on his part.
Yes.
Now, I know in some of the text messages that got introduced, certainly there was a big part of this talking about him wanting y'all to stay together as a family, keep the household, keep the family, and to go down that road. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. The reason I'm asking this particular question right here is because during your direct examination, you talked about filing the divorce in March. And then this incident happens in October. When you were talking, it made it seem to me, and I want to clarify this, that like you filed the divorce so that y'all weren't together anymore. But to be fair, like to be completely open about this situation, you would still call him to come over. Y'all still had marital relations like all the way through September of 23, right?
Yes, off and on, yes.
Okay. And so, I mean, the reason that's important is like when you filed the divorce, it was like, okay, this is it. We're broken up, divorced, we're going to separate property, we're going to do a custody agreement. Jesse absolutely, after the initial phase of grief for him, wanted to reconcile with you. And that did go back and forth. You would call him and come over, and y'all would have wonderful evenings. He would call you sometimes, please come over.
I never called him to come over because I was staying at my parents' house.
Oh, no, I'm not saying like come over to your mom's house. I'm saying he would call you, saying, come over to the house.
Yes,
There were times you would call him, hey, can I come over this evening? Or, you want to spend the evening together.
because he would have the girls and I would want to go spend time with the girls. And yes, one thing led to another, and it would be okay, but then I would leave and it would just start all over again.
Well, I get that, but like to be fair, it wasn't like the divorce got filed and the marriage ended. The marriage was going back and forth
Back
with
and forth.
good times and relationship in the marriage
Mhm.
all the way till all the way to October, pretty much, right?
Yes.
And so basically, it's that period of time in October when all of this stuff went down. That was kind of when you said, like, okay, yeah, you know what? I think it's time to end it for real this time. None of the back and forth stuff
Right.
anymore. All right. And so, I mean, well, you know this, that was devastating to him. Was it? You broke his heart, right?
I know I did, and I owned up to what I did.
And like I said, I'm not saying if for any judgment on you, I'm really trying to talk about like Jesse's mind, like, because that's the relevant part for this trial.
Mhm.
That month of October is where he started to figure out, like, wow, like I think she really wants to end it. Like, no more back and forth stuff, no more trying.
Mhm.
And that was extremely difficult on him.
Mhm.
And again, I mean, you do want to be fair to him, right? I
Of
mean,
course.
you don't want to see anything bad happen to him in this
Not at
trial,
all.
do you? You do want him to be able to see your girls, don't you?
Yes. My girls deserve to have somewhat of a relationship with their dad. It's not my girl's fault.
And so you would agree with me that Jesse was still experiencing depression as far as you can tell, even when the marital problem started.
Yes.
And he was having to deal with some things that he never had to deal with before.
Correct.
All right. Now, I know we talked a little bit about these accidents, but I need to ask some specific questions because you were around during both of them, right?
Mhm.
That first accident, when y'all were much younger, I mean, I guess it was more than 20 years ago at this point.
Mhm.
That ATV accident was significant. He was airlifted. I mean, he wasn't taking an ambulance. They had to airlift him.
He was airlifted to Wilford Hall.
He almost died in that accident. He was in the hospital for like a week and a half.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the head injuries go, you talked about, like, to Melissa, you said, well, I don't remember his behavior changing. Didn't he have obvious speech differences after the accident that people were talking to him like, wow, you're speaking different? Do you remember that?
I guess because I was always around him, I had always noticed it. I really can't tell you when it started happening.
Or was it a thing for the family that people were saying, you're talking different, Jesse? Like, you don't remember like one of the symptoms being a speech issue for him?
No.
All right. Now he was at one of the military hospitals for more than a week. That's
Yes.
how severe his injuries were.
Yes.
Okay. Now the second accident is the one that he had with his son. What's his son's name?
Marcus.
And Marcus is a disabled vet at this point, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The accident with Marcus, I mean, you have some, like, that accident was pretty bad too, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. Very bad.
It was a rollover accident.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember some things that were just kind of dramatic about it from the family and I guess the people that, like, you saw evidence of like how bad it was or how high this truck flipped? Can you tell the
Yes.
jury what you remember about that?
There, he ended up in the middle of a field, but I remember seeing a picture somewhere that somebody took of his brother holding up a piece of wood up to a light pole that showed how high the car was flipping because it clipped the light pole as it went by into the field.
All right. And so like in that accident, he was unconscious for a significant period of time, correct?
Yes.
And in the first accident, the one that was an even longer hospital trip, you knew that he was knocked out for a long period of time.
For a while, yes.
All right. Now, I know you're a medical assistant, but you don't have any training on like how much a head injury that causes severe unconsciousness can affect the brain. That's out of your
Not,
wheelhouse,
yeah,
right?
yes.
Okay. But as far as with this jury, you can confirm that he was knocked unconscious in both of those serious accidents, and he had long hospital stays for both of them. The second one was shorter.
Yes, sir.
Um, Now, getting towards the night in question, you know, when I guess when the conversation started getting more heated, haven't you told me that at some point you told him you were going to try to get the house and get custody of the girls and have him pay child support? Did that get told to him?
Yes, because I was angry. I just wanted it to be done and over with. I was tired of the back and forth. But would I ever hold the kids from him? No.
Yeah, and I'm not suggesting that you're going to hold the kids for him. The important part of that point is that right before this incident, he had been told, I'm going to get custody of the girls. I mean, because there's primary. I mean, you generally get, you know, visitation if you're the non-custodial parent. But you told him, I want to get custody, I want the house, and you're going to have to pay me $1,500 in child support. You remember telling him something like that?
Yes.
Is it kind of the first time, I guess, it had ever gone there where you talked about custody,
Yes.
taking the house for yourself, having him pay child support every month? Like that was something different. Again, kind of showing that none of the back and stuff anymore. Like it's time to cut the rope completely.
Yes.
I know you've used the word that he snapped before. Is that what you felt happened to him?
Yes.
Like when you say snap, I mean, what does that mean to you? Because that's not a medical term, but I mean, I guess everybody has their own idea about when a person can get to the point where they snap. What do you think happened to Jesse from your perspective?
When we were fighting that night, right before everything happened, right whenever he was grabbing the magazines out of the back of the car, and we heard the police sirens in the distance, he looked at me dead in the face, but it looked like his eyes were glazed over. He was looking at me, but he was looking right through me. And he told me he was going to regret this and ran back into the house. It was just something in his eyes that just didn't seem right to me that night.
Had you ever seen that before?
Never.
And so, I mean, like that has to be significant to you, right? Because, I mean, every husband and wife has probably argued at some point, you know? I mean, generally everybody's going to know what their spouse is like when they're mad, what they're going to, you know, when they're trying to make up, you know the person, especially after you've been with them for 20 years, right? Is there something that happened in Jesse's mind this particular night that looked completely different to you than anything you've ever seen before?
Object to speculation, Your Honor, as far as what happened in the defendant's mind.
Sustained.
Okay, well, let me ask it to you this way. this experience, like this is your husband, right, at the time.
Yeah.
On this night, was something different about him that you know as his wife that you had never seen in the 22 years you've been together with him?
I never thought he would escalate into something like that ever.
Well, and I guess one of the main reasons is because like he wasn't a troublemaker.
Right.
You know, the idea of him shooting a police officer, like, does he have relatives that are police officers?
Yes.
Has he been a back the blue guy as long as you've known him?
Always.
You know, would you hear stories like, I mean, when he was a tow truck driver, he would work a lot of police scenes, wouldn't he?
Yes.
That means people that get arrested, you got to tow the vehicle.
Mhm.
Accident scenes, right?
Yes.
DWI manslaughters, just felony arrest. Like he would be out there whenever there was a car that had to be towed. He was one of those guys that's out there with the police.
Yes.
And so if he would talk to you about his night, would he tell you stories about, you know, the stuff that he saw or the people that he dealt with?
Object to hearsay, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Okay, let me ask it to you this way. No, okay, you would deal with Jesse when he was doing his job as a tow truck driver. Do you have personal knowledge what he thought about police officers when he was doing this job he did for many years?
Mhm.
What is that?
Your Honor, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna object one more time. If she has personal knowledge, it's through hearsay. So I'm just gonna re-urge that objection.
Sustained to hearsay.
Well, I'm not asking her what he said, Judge. That's her. I'm asking her if she knows what her husband's attitude was after being married to him for 20 years. And so I'm not asking for a comment. I'm asking for her perception of her husband's attitude towards police officers for knowing him for 20 years. And so I think that's an exception to hearsay, and I would ask to be allowed to ask the question.
When you say it's an exception to hearsay, what exception? If you're asking the witness to state something that he said,
No, I'm not asking for any quotes. I'm asking if, as his wife of 20 years at the time, more than 20 years, does she know what his attitude was about police officers at the time? That's not hearsay. It's personal knowledge on her part about knowing her husband.
with regards to that question, you can answer yes or no. Either you know or you don't know.
Do you know? Let me ask the question so we can get it for the record.
Okay.
Do you know what your husband's perception and thoughts of the police officers were from your personal experience and personal knowledge by being married to him for over 20 years?
Yes.
And what is that?
Same objection. Your Honor.
All right, that objection will be sustained. If it's going to be based upon what he told her, then the objection is sustained.
Well, okay, take away everything that he told you about it. And just knowing him and seeing him out and about for 20 years, based on what you saw of him, do you feel as though you know his attitude towards police officers?
Yes.
Was it that clear to you? Like something you know for sure based on what you saw of him, not talking about conversations at this point, just on what you saw of him in dealing with people and dealing in his life?
Yeah.
All right. What was his belief and feelings about police officers?
Your Honor, I'm sorry. I'm gonna make.
All right, if parties will approach.
Did you ever see him have interactions with police officers?
Yeah.
And in all the interactions with police officers, did you ever see anything that would imply negative feelings towards police officers from what you saw?
No, never.
Was it the opposite? What would be your feelings about the way he reacted whenever he was dealing with police officers?
Nothing but respect. Go up, shake their hands, you know, thank them for their time. Nothing but respect.
Now, I know at the start of this examination, you know, you told the jury that Jesse was the kind of guy that would give the shirt off his back to people. You also talked about he was the kind of person that would go out and approach people in a friendly way.
Mhm.
Did he do that with police officers in particular? Like thank them and do things like that? We know whatever.
Sometimes, yes.
And so is it fair to say, as somebody who's known him since he was a teenager, the actions he took on this day, this evening, were completely inconsistent with everything you've seen with him all the years you've known him?
Completely out of character for him.
The rough times you had with him, I mean, and basically, I mean, after the affair thing, it did get ugly between you, right?
Correct.
But in the end, is it true to say, is it true? Let me ask you this. Is it true that he did love you with all his heart?
Correct.
He did not want to lose you.
Right.
He did want to forgive you and keep the family together.
Mhm.
And he had a really hard time accepting it when you told him that's not going to happen anymore.
Right.
And that would have been in October because it was middle of the road in the months before that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now, during your direct examination, you had a statement about a comment made during the 911 video where you said, did you say, I thought he said he was going to shoot them or something to that effect?
Yeah.
Now, are you sure about that? And I'm asking, like, there wasn't a point in time where he did tell you he was shutting his car because you were there and he was trying to shut the lift gate of his car? Do you
No,
remember him
that's
telling you
what he
something?
said.
What is what he said?
No, he said, I'm gonna shoot them.
Okay. Because you didn't tell that to the detective in your interview. I mean, is there a reason you would have left that out? Because that's pretty significant.
It probably slipped my mind. I was over there for over 3-4 hours.
Right. I mean, you gave a long statement. I mean, you answered every single question that they asked of you. But I mean, saying that you're going to shoot somebody is kind of a big deal. And I couldn't hear that in the 911 call. And then it wasn't in your statement to the detectives. Is it possible you were wrong about that or misheard something?
No.
Okay. Madison, how old is she now?
She's 20.
And where is she in school?
She goes to nursing school at UIW.
And how is she doing?
She's finishing up half of her second year this week.
Right. I'm going to show you what we marked as Defense Exhibit 1. Do you recognize this text message that went out to a group?
Mhm.
Okay. I mean, after this happened, after the arrest, I mean, there's family issue, right? Things have to get settled, things have to get said, things like
Yeah.
that. In the statement, you do describe that you spent 22 years with this man that you say you love with your whole heart. That's all true, correct?
Yes, I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah, well, and I get it, and I just want to ask some questions about, like I said, every other thing besides those bad things that were mentioned during direct. I mean, he was your high school sweetheart, right? When
Yes.
you were 16, I think, when y'all started dating.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned Weddle in this text message because, again, it was that big a deal. It's just, there's no way of getting around the fact that heartbreak and
Mhm.
that loss was tough on everybody in this particular family, including you.
Correct.
You told the family that Jesse was right. When things get tough, you would get scared and run, and that's exactly what you did. That you kind of fallen on your own sword as far as saying, like, you made some personal mistakes.
I did.
You talk about how Jesse forgave you and tried his hardest to get you to come back?
Yes.
I mean, and Judge, at this point, I did plan on admitting this. It might be better to admit it now so we can talk about it a little bit more freely.
I don't have any objection. I did get a chance to review it, Your Honor.
All right, so you want to offer it?
I did. She has it as defense
No,
exhibit.
I mean, you didn't offer it,
Yeah, I'm going to offer defense exhibit number 1 into evidence.
right? Any objections?
No, ma'am.
All right, defense exhibit number 1 is admitted without objection.
You did explain to the family that October 19th was a nightmare. I mean, that's definitely true, isn't it?
Yes.
And you described to the family, and this was shortly after the incident, relatively shortly after the incident, that Jesse snapped.
Yes.
And you know that's what happened that night.
Yes.
You know that. You saw it with your own eyes, right?
Yes.
All right. Those are all the questions I have for you right now, Monette. Thank you.
May I, Your Honor?
Yes.
I have a few follow-up questions for you, Monette. I'll try to get through them as quickly as I can. First, I want to talk about.
Excuse me, microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. I'll try to get through them as quickly as I can. First, I want to talk to you about the statement that you said that Jesse made while you were on 911. When you got to Carol's house, did you tell her about what had just happened at your house?
Yes.
And did you tell her about these comments that Jesse made?
Yes.
And what was your condition with your state when you were telling her what was going
Calm, but on the verge of hysterical.
on the verge of hysterical?
Mhm.
Was this right after what we hear on that 911 call, your frantic plea for help because he was trying to light the house on fire?
Yes.
So this was within a
Minutes.
minute. You're sharing with Carol what he had said on that 911 call.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, as far as your relationship with Jesse in between your filing for divorce and when this happened, your the back and forth that he referenced, you have said that you still loved him. Is that fair?
Yes.
So was it hard for you to pull the plug and completely walk away?
Yes, it was very hard for me.
But when you filed for divorce, he was served with those papers, correct?
Correct.
And so from March, he knew that there was the potential for the end of your family.
Yes.
Now, you said that this isn't your girl's fault, and I couldn't agree with you more. But as you know, there were other people who were affected by what Jesse did. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And if the roles were reversed, I suppose, if Jesse had been the individual that had been shot and nearly killed for no reason, do you think that that would have been traumatic for your girls?
Very much.
And so can you imagine how that has been traumatic for the officers who were shot and their families?
I'm just going to object to relevance from this witness, Judge.
I'm sorry.
Response?
On cross-examination with the witnesses' answers, I think the door was opened as far as his family should have a relationship with him. I think it's relevant to show the other side of it and how the victims have been affected by what he did.
All right, the objection will be overruled.
Can you imagine how given the situation, the families of the individuals who he shot have been traumatized by what he did?
It's a sad situation all around. From my part, it sucks.
Sure. If the I'm sorry.
I don't want to imagine what they're going through because I'm already dealing with it on this end.
And if the roles were reversed, would you or your girls, you think, want justice for him if he were shot for no reason?
Yes, but they still have children too. You know, it's not the children's fault.
You're right, it is not. It's his fault, isn't it?
The children shouldn't have to suffer.
They shouldn't. But this is Jesse's fault, isn't it?
Correct.
You said that based on everything that you had known about him for his whole life, that this was a kind of a shock to you, right?
Yes, very much.
That on paper, he didn't look like the kind of person that would do this. Is that fair?
Never.
But he did it.
He did.
Okay. So, do you think that his life is never going to get hard again?
I can't answer that.
Do you think it's possible it could?
I mean, it can. Everybody's life is difficult at some point or another.
So the fact that it never happened before, and then it did, you can't guarantee this jury that he would never do anything like this again. Nothing further. Your Honor.
Defense?
Just a couple of questions, just to follow up. I mean, you can't guarantee I'm never going to do anything bad in my life, can you?
No.
Can't guarantee the judge is never going to do anything bad in her life. I mean,
Not me.
not the judge.
Yeah,
the
don't,
bailiff.
yes, okay, thank
Sorry,
you.
bailiff. I'm sorry, Judge. I looked the wrong way.
Okay.
You can't say the bailiff is not going to do anything wrong in their life.
Right.
Okay, I mean, nobody can guarantee a person's life.
Right.
But if you're being honest, Jesse was living a wonderful, good life until the divorce for some part, but no acts that were felonies until this shooting.
Right.
And so, I mean, you think there's a difference when somebody has lived a troubled life or has a history of hurting people or being mean and ugly.
Mhm.
Would you think they're more likely to reoffend?
Yes.
And I guess the point about Jesse, and would you imagine there's probably a lot of people that can say that Jesse is just a great guy, people that he's worked for, people that he know, people that he helped.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of people out there that probably know that, right?
Yes, sir.
And is your opinion that he would be less dangerous than most people in the world is based on your 22 years of knowing him versus this one very specific incident? Right. I'll pass the witness, Judge.
I do have just a few more, Your Honor. Monette, that phone call that I played for you from the jail, do you remember what Jesse said to his friend?
Yes.
Well, Your Honor, if it's about that, we need to approach because that's going to be something we're going to have to discuss later on anyway.
All right. Could parties,
Yeah, there's hearsay, but we need to approach it.
all right, could parties approach?
The accidents that we talked about that Jesse was in, those didn't happen between the divorce being filed and between this accident, or I'm sorry, the incident for which we're here. So these head injuries or the trauma that defense counsel is referring to, those weren't a recent development around the same time of all of these hardships.
No.
Nothing further.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, is this witness excused or subject to recall?
We're fine, excuse me.
We could excuse right now.
All right, the rule has been invoked. What that means, you're not allowed to discuss your testimony or view anything about this trial until the trial has concluded. Do you understand? All right, thank you. If you'll leave the cereal box behind, please. All right, state, call your next witness.
The state calls Carol.
Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure that you keep your voice up so everyone can hear.
Yes,
And if you'll state your name for the record and spell your last name, please.
my name is Carol Suspankowitz. It's SZCZEPANKIEWICZ.
All right, you may proceed.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Carol.
Good afternoon.
How old are you currently?
47.
Okay, and do you live in Bear County, Texas?
Yes.
How long have you lived in Bear County, Texas?
Since 2011?
Okay, and do you have children?
I do.
Okay, how many children do you have?
I have 2.
Okay. Of 2023, do you recall that day?
Yes.
Okay, and were you living in Bear County on that day?
Yes.
Do you recall the address of your residence on that day?
Yes.
What was? Do you have some neighbors that you were familiar with in the area?
Yes.
Okay. Now, on October 19th of 2023, have you gone somewhere on that day?
Yes.
Do you recall where you went?
Yeah, in the evening, yeah, my son and I had went to Spirit Halloween, and
Okay,
then we had just came back from there.
okay. And when you say you all came back, are you speaking of returning to your residence?
Yes, my son and I.
And that was the Alta Puerta location?
Well, Amistad Pass is
Okay.
they're right.
Next.
They're hooked together. Yeah.
Let me
show you this.
So if we're looking at State's Exhibit 2A, can you see that clearly?
Yes.
Okay, and so this street that I'm pointing to right here, what street is that?
That's Alta Puerta.
Okay, and this street right here?
Amistad Pass.
Okay, and so Amistad Pass is the street that you lived on?
Correct.
Okay, do you see your house? And so when you all returned to your home from the Halloween store, did you hear or observe anything kind of out of the ordinary?
Excuse me. Yes. When we pulled in, and we got out, I heard Monette across the street, kind of like yelling at somebody up the street. And my son and I kind of like lingered outside in the driveway because he wanted to test out his new smoking machine, fog machine thing. And so I looked at my son, I was like, don't look, don't stare, just let them do what they're doing.
Okay. And how old was your son at the time?
He was 13.
Okay.
13.
And so when you say Monette, is that Monette Ellis?
Yes.
Okay. Eventually were you able to decipher who she was arguing with?
Not at that time, because it looked like she was yelling at somebody up the street, but I wasn't.
Okay. At some point, did you personally make contact with Monette?
Yes.
Okay. Can you please explain to the jury how that occurred?
Yes. So my son and I, we stayed outside. Next thing I know, Monette pulled into my driveway and she got out of the car and she was very frantic and she was like, "Oh my God, Miss Carol, Jesse just poured gasoline all over me and the house." And I asked her, I said, "Did you call the police?" And she said, "Yes, I did." And I was like, "Okay." And she goes, "But he said if they come, there's gonna be a shootout with the police." So then her and I sat there for a little bit and do you want me to keep explaining?
If you could, I'm gonna ask you another question.
Okay, I'll stop.
Okay, and so at the time that she stated that to you, what was your reaction?
At the time, my reaction was I was just kind of trying to process it and kind of observe what was going on in the neighborhood too, because the kids were still playing in the street. All the neighborhood kids were out there playing, and my son was there. So, but the cops hadn't pulled up yet.
Okay. At some point, did you observe police officers pull up to the location?
I did. And the first two pulled up.
Okay, and can you explain to the jury what you observed at that point?
The first two police officers pulled up. They got out of their cars. I saw them kind of getting stuff on, and then I just remember looking over and seeing one of them with his long rifle, and in my head, I instantly was like, I looked at my son, I said, go in the house. Go in the house now. And then I immediately ran next door to Josh and Rebecca's house, my neighbor's house, and I banged on their door because two of their kids were out in the street, and I banged on the door and they both answered, and I told Josh, I was like, get the kids out of the street. Jesse's about to have a shootout with the police.
Okay. So at the time that Monette was speaking with you and she was telling you these things, where were, or do you know, does Monette have children?
Yes.
Okay. And the day that she made, or you made contact with her, did she have any children with her?
Her two little ones were with her.
Okay. And so at the time that you all are speaking to each other, where were the children located at that time?
Well, they were in the back of the car.
Okay. And so then you explained to the jury how you observed the officers and you go to Josh and Rebecca's house. What happened when you arrived back at your home?
When I came back over to my driveway, I know the girls were already out of the car, the two younger daughters with Monette kind of like in my driveway still by my car. I had went to my door, opened it, and I told my mom, I said, get the dog locked up because I got to get the girls in the house. And then I started walking back towards them and to bring them into the house. And then that's when the gunfire started.
Okay. So at the time that this offense occurred in 2023 of October, who all was living in the home in your residence with you?
My mom lives with me, my son, and my daughter's boyfriend lives with me.
Okay. And was your home, did you have a doorbell camera on that day affixed to your home?
I did.
Okay. And was that footage turned over to the police department?
Yes.
And so when you made the decision to get Monette and the two children into your home, about how fast after that did you start hearing gunfire?
Like a minute. It felt like minutes, like the whole time. It's minutes. It wasn't very long at all.
Okay. Now I'm gonna ask you to use State's Exhibit number 14. There's a screen to your side, and if you're unable to see that, please feel free to turn around and look at the big screen, okay? Okay, and so the first person that we saw open that door, do you know who that person is? That was in State's Exhibit number 14.
Me? Yeah, me.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
So that was you, and then who else was contained on State's Exhibit number 14?
Monette and the two girls, her two daughters.
Now, once Monette and the two children entered your residence, did they stay there until the police arrived at your residence?
Yes.
Okay. And now regarding Monette's clothing, we're able to see it in the State's Exhibit, but were you able to smell anything on her clothing that was out of the ordinary?
Yes, I could smell the gasoline on her. I gave her clothes to change into.
Okay. And now regarding the children, were you able to make any observations regarding their demeanor when they were inside of your home?
Yeah, it was rough. They just cried and sobbed, and I remember holding one of them. They just kept asking, "Is my daddy dead? Is my daddy dead?" Just sobbing and crying, and I just kept saying, "He's okay. He's okay."
Okay.
Yeah.
And due to their emotional state, did you and your mother make the decision to put on some type of movie for them?
I did. I tried to put on Monsters Inc. to drown out the sound of the gunfire, but it didn't really work. I tried.
And then did you all also provide one of the children with a stuffed animal to provide comfort?
We did.
Now, at this time that this occurred in 2023, about how long have you known Monet and her children?
About 3 years
Okay.
since I moved in.
And did you, after the police arrived at the location, did they decide to take Monet down to headquarters to provide a statement to the detective?
Yes,
Okay, and where did the children stay during that time?
they stayed with me until I believe it was her parents could get there and pick them up.
And at this time, did you own or operate a motor vehicle?
Yes,
Okay, and where did the motor vehicle park at your pet?
it was parked in my driveway.
Okay. After this offense occurred, did you notice any defects in your motor vehicle?
Yes.
And what was that?
On the back on the back driver's side door, there was like a dent, like a ricochet bullet wound, like where it ricocheted off of it.
Now I'm going to show you what has been marked as State's Exhibit number 17. Can you please take a look at that for me?
Yes,
And have you previously viewed this photo before taking the stand today?
yes,
And you recognize what is contained within State's Exhibit number 17?
yes,
And is it a fair and accurate depiction of the item that is depicted in the photo?
yes.
At this time, I'm tendering State's Exhibit number 17 to defense for inspection and offering the same.
No objections.
State exhibit number 17 is admitted without objection.
Permission?
Granted.
Okay.
All right, can you see that up there?
Yes.
Okay, and this is State's Exhibit number 17. So can you please, is this your motor vehicle that's depicted?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And regarding this defect that I'm pointing to, is that a gunshot defect?
Yes.
Okay. Now, earlier in your testimony, you stated that Monet had told you that if the police showed up to the location,
Your Honor, I'm just gonna object to hearsay statements in the question. He's
All right.
talking about comments another person made to the, yeah.
All right, that objection will be sustained.
Judge, if I just may respond.
Yes.
briefly, I believe that defense counsel opened the door to these statements because he cross-examined Monet and asked her whether she had relayed this to anybody, and she stated she did. And so it's left a false impression with the jury, so I believe that we should be on this whole. That came to you and was speaking with you. What effect did that have on you? What was being relayed to you? What effect did those statements have on you?
For me, I guess I kind of went into like protection mode for like my son, like the kids on the street, just more of like a heightened awareness also, which
And did the statements that were being relayed to you, did they worry you at all?
yes.
And why is that?
It's when Monette told me that, gonna call the police, there's to call the police, yes, and then if they come, Jesse said he's gonna have a shootout with them. That it worried me, like, for some reason, like, I didn't just dismiss it, like, kind of went in the opposite direction, I think, and I just, like, something kicked in, and I just, especially when I saw the police pull up, and I did not dismiss that comment at all.
Okay. And did you believe the comment to be idle, or did you believe that there?
Your Honor, objection. That goes to state of mind of another person. That's not in her purview to answer.
All right, that objection will be sustained.
And so I guess this comment worried you to the extent that you felt that you had to jump into action, is that fair to say?
Absolutely.
Okay, and the effect that this statement had on you was that you went to go warn the neighbors and then decided.
And that, Your Honor, and now she's leading her witness.
All right, the objection to leading will be sustained.
Okay, and so after you go to warn your neighbors, then what did you decide regarding Monette and the defendant's 2 children?
To bring them into my home.
We pass the witness, Your Honor.
Defense?
Ms. Sapanowitz?
Sure. Sounds good.
I don't have any questions for you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, is this witness excused or subject to recall?
Excuse your judge.
All right, the rule has been invoked. What that means, you're not allowed to discuss your testimony and view anything concerning this trial until the trial has concluded.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You may step down if you'll leave behind the square microphone.